Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Morning Madness podcast. This is TJ, along with our other hosts, Carlos and Victory.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Morning Madness podcast. Again, in our beautiful studio here. For those watching, it is a couple days prior to Halloween. For us, we're only a week away. And I'm excited. I don't know about you guys.
I'm excited for what's gonna come for Halloween. I don't. It even falls on a Sunday this year.
Does it?
Yeah.
Even
And that
better.
means you have Friday and Saturday to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to be doing. Running an event on Friday and running an event on Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds exactly how that sounds. Horrible.
Yeah. But I get a free ticket to Chaos, so I do not care.
Do you guys think there's an age limit on like how old you can like be to be like trick or treating?
Oh, trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating ends at 15, 16.
Really?
In my
Yeah, I
book.
think once you're older, well, I mean, I feel like you can get away once you're like 16, but like
You can still do it,
17, 18.
What about
and
like
above.
25?
See, I think that's
No.
just
but,
sad.
okay, 25, you have to have a convincing costume. You have to have like a Oogie Boogie costume or something that just makes you look like a big kid.
Yeah.
But like then again, you need big kid money for that, and I don't think very many people.
See,
are gonna
that's
be
what
doing
it takes
that.
to trick the parent. Listen, if you're actually grind. All right,
You don't think like a bunch of 25-year-olds would just
survival
like
tips
go out
101.
and just trick or treat?
If you want to trick or treat at the age of 25 plus, you need a very convincing outfit. If they think you're a kid, you'll get candy. If you're really about getting that candy, you'll spend a few bucks.
Yeah.
Well, then at
here's
that
the
point, you
thing,
might
at-
as well
you're
just buy the fucking
stealing-
candy.
Well, do you see? But the
Yeah.
whole thing is this is assuming that you're a psychopath who wants to trick or treat for his candy when you're old enough to buy your own candy.
And at
This
that point,
was
you're just
not my
stealing candy
flawed
from
thought
the kids who
process.
can't buy their own candy.
Wait, what?
That's just mean-spirited, too. You're just stealing candy from kids, which does sound pretty epic.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the spirit of Halloween wouldn't be.
Let's
too
be
happy
honest.
about that,
Most
though.
kids probably deserve getting their candy stolen at least once.
Did you guys ever? Did you guys have your parents check your Halloween candy as a kid?
No, what's called? That's such a freaking myth. How that started.
Neither
I
did
know how that story.
Damn. So none of us have an anecdote.
No, well, I actually saw a documentary on like how that like all started.
Isn't it just to take the kids' candy so you can have some candy? And then
Well, like the actual like criminal case that's like behind it. So apparently,
I forget constantly.
It
You're a
was with
criminal
the
justice
apples,
major.
right?
yeah. No. So what happened was like these kids came back and they had pixie sticks, and so they opened them, like cracked them open, and then they started foaming at the mouth like after they like ate them, and they found that it was rat poison inside the pixie sticks.
You
Jesus.
you put rat
And-
poison instead of cocaine in one time, and suddenly you're the bad guy.
And the guy the guy that was giving out the candy was like, after they left, he was probably like, ah, shit. Found the pixie sticks, honey. I think I gave out the rat poison.
Dude, actually, it's not even candy that.
Let's see, speed, heroin. Where is it, honey?
Where is
I think the kids took the fucking rat poison. Why do I have pixie sticks in my house? Helen, why do I have fucking pixie sticks? I can't do shit with these.
It's like, why is there sugar in the drug compartment?
Oh shit!
Ellen, I can't snort this shit off your back after your bath.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
man.
Well,
Anyways.
what's a funny story or funny way how that happens? It's not even when they got the pixie sticks. It wasn't even they didn't get it from a stranger. Their dad had actually planted them inside their sacks and shit before we went out
fuck?
shit, so that he can collect like the collection money and shit to pay off some debts.
I heard about that.
What the fuck? And then after that started happening, somewhat similar incidents were happening, but like there was no confirmed cases of like people like biting the apples and you know, like they're being raised.
That's
with
kind
blades.
of a myth.
Yeah, that one's a myth, but like how it like started and shit, like
That's
eek.
whack.
Okay,
Hell, fucking John Copper's Halloween and shit is based off of another like forget what case it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah.
Now I check I think about checking candy bars more often. I just recently watched Trick or Treat, the cult classic horror movie,
Yes.
with the little
That
with the
movie's
little,
everywhere and I
with
love
the-
it.
Yeah, with the little pumpkin boy. That movie was so well done, surprisingly. I actually really liked it. It was so good I made a Letterboxd account. just so I could rate it. And I thought it was good because I was looking into it. I was trying to find the sequel, and apparently the sequel's just been locked in limbo for years.
I don't. Does it deserve
I don't think they
second
should do a sequel. I think it should just be left as is.
But you know what?
The character has
what's
so much
fun about that
potential,
movie?
though.
You know that ending scene where it's just like the witch's story and shit? By the way, that one, it was actually done pretty well and shit. After like they do that ritual, I always imagine just Blade, like Wesley Snipes coming from the woods and just murking everybody and shit.
Ooh, also thanks to that stupid Letterboxd account I made. Oh, my damn whistle into the mic. I also found a weird Power Rangers short film on YouTube that I've been meaning to watch. Power Rangers on something, and it looks.
Is it the Tony Khan one? Is it the one where it's like super like gritty and like bloody?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't watched it quite yet.
That one's actually pretty good. I do have a few questions about that one though. But I like that they played the Blue Ranger's like his actual like sexual identity and shit.
Okay, well, I know it's in there somewhere. Anyway, case in point, that's something I've been meaning to check out. But, so in the spirit of Halloween, okay, so TJ, I'm sorry, you're not excited about Halloween itself?
It's like, it's whenever Halloween, like, gets by, I'm like, oh, cool, it's another way. When you're over 21, it's Halloween just like a day just to, like, it's like an adult's, like, it's an adult's excuse to, like, get fucking, like, wasted and shit.
Yeah, I feel like Halloween, when you grow up, is just kind of like, depending on who you are, kind of like a nostalgia-fueled day.
Yeah.
And, like, here's the thing. Once I'm out of college, I doubt I'm going to be doing anything for Halloween, per se.
What about decorating the house?
I mean, I
don't even, like...
I will always decorate.
For me,
I love decorating.
For me, for Halloween, like, on, like, the, holiday tier list, I'd rather, like, decorate my house for Christmas.
Listen. Christmas is my number one favorite holiday. But Halloween is a close second.
The thing.
That being said, Halloween is the only thing stopping
second.
Christmas from bleeding all the way up to like August for me.
Actually, no. Number one favorite holiday is April 20th.
Oh my god. Here he goes again with this.
Just censor that
story.
part. No, it has to be Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you're over 21. I think I can keep it in.
What's the word? Yeah, July 4th. Yeah, July 4th.
You like 4th of July?
Bro, I do summer vibes.
See, I'm not a summer boy, so I don't like
I'm a summer boy. You guys aren't summer people?
Not
Bro, that's
dude, do I look
weird.
like I get sun?
I burn, my friend.
I have not looked at, I don't remember what it looks like to look out my window.
Oh, god damn it.
I put the ring light right there so it simulates artificial sunlight.
I don't know, man. I just like working out, like the heat and shit and like the grind of it. I don't know, bro.
He watched Pain and Gain too many times.
Funny enough, I've never seen that movie.
DJ's running around listening to the Rocks little rap song.
Oh my god. Let's be honest, guys. His part's a bop, and it's really good.
I've listened to it more times than I'd like to. Like the rest of the song is cool and all. It's not my thing, but as soon as the Rock hops on it, there's something about listening to him do it. He cares. There's something about the passion that's in there.
So TJ, you would consider yourself the Halloween Grinch of sorts.
Kinda, but I don't mind it though too. But I'm like, everyone's like,
so you're gonna become like the old man who's like tricking kids instead of.
I'm just not gonna open my door.
Really? Oh, you're not even gonna give out candy?
No, and what's the where we live?
Listen. Okay, if we took it upon ourselves to pay for it, could we dress you up as Sully from Monsters Inc.?
Why? How much am I getting paid? Can we negotiate that?
Well, paying you, I don't know. It's just that you'd have to go through it, like maybe for a video. I don't know. Listen,
can we dress you up from the guy from Moana?
He looks.
Oh,
with the old hair, yeah.
Oh yeah, with long hair.
Like
yeah,
now, listen. He looks like he could play Sully from Monsters Inc. If you really
could.
I think
and I'm Mike Wazowski.
I'm Wazowski Mike.
The three of us do a Monsters Inc. like costume where you play Bob. I think the guy who voice acts him plays another character named Bob.
Oh my god,
John Goodman.
Hey, listen, man. It's early. It's early.
Okay, you need to put on the screen just a picture of Sully and just change my name to Bob.
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 Bob is the name of the
Bob, get
test
in
character
here.
they were using in the original. Have you seen the Monsters Inc. like test footage with the original monster? That guy's named Bob.
Anyways,
Bob's
TJ is Sully.
cracked up.
I'm Mike Wazowski, and you're Boo.
Oh, I could dress as Boo.
Monster
I
costume.
also know another reason why I don't like Halloween, or something like Halloween's like not on my favorite list. There's just something about like seeing like grown ass people and shit in like rinky dink costume. If you're gonna go all out, go all out
Yeah.
and shit.
If you're gonna wear a costume on Halloween and
like,
you're
I
an
don't
adult,
like.
do something. There's either the neutral version where it's like
You need
a
to own a
toned down,
cosplay.
Yeah.
Like
or a cosplay. Going to Spirit Halloween and wearing that shit.
the poor,
I'm tired of seeing cat ears on my Instagram
the
feed,
poor
y'all.
misguided.
It's
the
overplayed.
poor misguided parent who just happens to have a lot of money and buys their kid a fursuit for Halloween.
Yeah.
God.
Or those girls
We
that
know
just
you
like
love
buy
Sonic the
like a
Hedgehog.
red or those girls that buy red or white dresses and just put like devil horns on it or a halo.
Yeah,
and they call
You know,
it good.
you know which one I hate? You know which one I hate? The sexy police officer. Because I see it every goddamn year.
See, the thing
Just
is,
like
right?
angels and devils.
Listen, I
Yeah,
think all
literally.
three of us can speak for. There's nothing sexy about a police officer.
Yeah.
I have never been pulled over and gone, "Oh
Man in
hell
uniform.
yeah!"
Well, no one.
I've never gone, "Oh, I hope he pulls me out of the car." I'm going, "I hope he lets me get to my glove compartment."
It sounds like a Chappelle skit. No, but for real, like, I see that shit.
That does sound like a Chappelle skit.
I cannot wait to be pulled out of the car today.
A Hispanic and African American and
All right.
Polynesian are sitting in the car.
I'm gonna have to ask you to get out of the car.
Because I want that to happen.
But then these girls, they like,
You understand why I pulled you over? We're gonna cut this bit. Low effort Halloween costumes suck. Okay,
Yes.
listen, those there is nothing I hate more. Okay, the
I'm
most
a
common
mouse.
Halloween costumes in high
Duh.
school for me. Okay, so all the ones that I'll let slide are the Harley Quinn. 'Cause as common as it is, it's
Yeah, but that takes at least like face paint and shit. I'm
Right.
talking about people who like get one thing
like
that
Mean
somewhat
Girls when she
matches.
puts the mouse ears on.
yes,
yeah,
the
like,
cat ear,
those
mouse
are
ear,
low
those
effort
costumes.
Halloween
Yes, cat ear,
costumes.
mouse ear, bunny
If
ear.
you're gonna
costume.
dress up, dress up.
Yeah.
Put some effort in your costume.
And the
You
pol-
look like a mess.
The thing with
Ashley,
the police
whatever
officer
fuck.
one that bothers me
Yeah,
is
sexy
like,
police officer is not a good costume.
it's not a good costume, and it's literally it's not even like they're different ones. It's literally the same exact costume from Spirit Halloween that I see these girls wearing, right? And I'm not saying this in a way to like shame anyone's choices. I'm not saying this in that sense. I'm just saying it's kind of cringe.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just cringe as fuck.
You
I
know,
respect your decisions, but you're cringe.
Hold
and
up.
so
Hold up. What if they're gonna make a sexy Among Us?
they already have, bro.
Oh, see,
Please,
too late.
please do.
Too late.
Please do. I think it'll be fucking hilarious.
What would that even? Well, I know what that would look.
It's literally just like a dress.
Can I just say also, it took
With
them
the-
way too
the
long to make
hat
Among Us
topper.
costumes.
Yeah.
We were gonna get Among Us costumes last Halloween.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, we,
Remember, we
oh,
were
we
gonna do that. We were
were.
gonna do it
I mean,
for-
we could still do that.
and the game was peak popularity right then.
Well, because licensing takes a bit. I mean, Overwatch didn't get Halloween costumes till like 2 years after the game came out.
Yeah. Okay. So listen,
Really?
my Tracer costume has been locked in transit for like it said it would ship in like 2 weeks. It's been locked in transit for 2 weeks. I don't know what is happening, but it's just not getting here. It's gonna get here after Halloween at this rate, and it's really annoying.
Oh Jesus!
But
Yeah.
no harm, no foul. I just won't film a video that night. I won't go
Speed
to.
pack from China.
They just
Depends on what type of speed.
so.
Interesting. Have you ever noticed though that when the girls? I'm sorry, I'm still on the fucking police officer costume because this shit just rubs me the wrong way. But anyways, it's always the same caption on Instagram too. It's always like the same whenever they post the pictures of them in the fucking costume. They're like hanging the handcuffs over their shoulder. It's always the same like, I'm gonna give you a speeding ticket or some shit, and I'm like, do you remember what happened last year? Do you remember?
I'm gonna give you a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Oh,
honey,
my God.
I've committed vehicular manslaughter. If you're just giving me a speeding ticket, this is easy. You're a bad cop.
Fucking Matthew
You should be
Broderick.
ashamed
Yeah,
of
you're a
yourself.
terrible cop. How did you pass the exam?
How do you
Yeah.
feel? I just gotta
I
wait.
ran
You
over
let
that
me
cyclist
in front
on
of you.
3rd Street.
But then there's the low effort Halloween costumes that actually work.
Okay, now,
Like
now you
when-
gotta
Like just like
Trash
a tea-
bag.
Yeah. Or
No,
like a hot dog.
no.
That shit's funny. Or a pickle.
You know, I got bullied in like elementary school for dressing up as where I went to a Spirit Halloween and bought a vampire costume, right? And the cloak, right? Everybody was making fun of it like you have a trash bag for a cloak, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's an actual costume. I bought it. And now I think about it, right? That thing probably was just a trash bag.
Yeah. You're like,
But,
I
like,
want to suck your garbage.
we spent like $19.99 on a trash bag.
Spirit Halloween is a ripoff.
You want to talk about low effort costumes in the 4th grade? I always remember this because my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Gray, she was a bitch. She was, dude. She was these old. She was. I will stand by this until the day I die. She was a genuinely mean
Dude,
teacher.
you know, all teachers find their students like footage online somehow. Like,
I don't.
always
Fuck,
gets
she's
back
probably
to
what's
them
she's
somehow.
probably like, you know, she's probably.
Jeez.
No, she was a genuinely mean woman and shit. I remember one year her TA. I didn't come. I didn't like Halloween that much. That I showed up without a fucking costume on the day like we were supposed to. and
No
shit.
way.
I did. I was like, this is fucking dumb. I don't want to dress up.
I very much dislike that.
Nope.
Yeah.
And then you know what they made me do? This bitch put fucking 2 big ass fucking paper like circles, put it against me, stapled it, cut out a green triangle, stapled it against my chest, and they said you're a pumpkin now. I'm like, what the fuck?
Is that just...
That's just fat people.
Yeah, I was
being-
just going to say, is that
That's
fat shaming?
Maybe back then it was, bro.
Wow. That's
I think
terrible.
my first ever Halloween costume as a kid was a pumpkin. I think
No,
it
mine
a
was
matching-
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It was a matching family costume, and then
But
my
it was-
family really quickly realized how tacky and stupid that was, and then they stopped.
Dude, I had this weird ass Yu-Gi-Oh outfit. It like, you know how you wore like blue in the show?
Mhm.
Yeah, mine was fucking purple. And I didn't know.
Halloween costumes were weird back then because it was like, so I was my first conscious Halloween costume by like the one I wanted to do, not the ones they put on me as a baby. I think it had to have been Spider-Man, but it was obviously the Raimi Spider-Man movies were coming out. It was Spider-Man 2. I still have this costume because it's special and it's tiny still. But this thing, literally the worst piece of fabric in the world.
Carlos is tiny because he tried to put it on recently.
Yeah. I
Gets up to his legs, he's like, they're too big.
No, but like this thing, like you look at Halloween costumes now, you go to Target or Spirit Halloween, you see the costumes for kids, even the cheap ones, like the material is actually kind of nice and comfy. No, this shit was like wearing a canvas.
Ooh,
This was
yeah.
disgusting. But it was like just this thin peeling fabric that had no seam on it. But it was great. It was my favorite thing in the world.
See, if I had like a bunch of money to like set aside for like a costume and shit, like I would definitely do it. And my dream costume is definitely like to be like a Power Ranger someday.
See-
I don't know which one though.
Okay, see, my whole life from age 2 to like 12, I was a Power Ranger. Yeah, for
See,
Halloween.
As much as I love Power Rangers, I never dressed up as one. I probably tried to attempt it, but like,
I think the oldest photo I have of myself in my camera log is a photo of a developed photo of me dressed as a Power Ranger from it has to be Ninja Storm.
Oh yeah,
And then-
was I?
So I was like 4 in the photo.
I think I might have been like the red one.
I was the red one. I was the Red Ranger always.
Oh yeah.
I think I was the Black Ranger for Halloween one year, and my brother was the Blue Ranger. I don't know, because I was really little.
Got a problem with this?
I was hoping we just kept that as a visual only gag where we looked at each other and just
Well, At the time, my brother was more into Power Rangers, and I was just kind of like following along.
Do you remember what series or which season it was?
I don't remember. I
That
think
makes a
it was based on.
huge
I think it was
difference.
based on like the OG outfits.
Oh, Mighty Morphin.
The Mighty Morphin
You
outfits.
can't go wrong with those.
And
Can't go
so
wrong with
like
those.
he was super into it. He liked the Blue Ranger, and I was like, I like that one, and I wanted the black costume, so I got it.
I want. You had
What if you were the baby for Halloween?
What, me?
Yeah.
I look nothing like DaBaby.
Doesn't matter.
So this episode probably will be out after Halloween.
Oh, why?
Well, because the red episode, the episode where I'm wearing red, didn't come out this week because I
mean, we could just
I blinked and it
delay
was
that
fucking
one.
Wednesday. Well, yeah, we could, but is there any time sensitive information in that one?
I don't think so.
You'd have to review it again.
Yeah, we'll see.
Also, you're right when you said that you blinked and it was Wednesday, because I told someone I would have something to them by the end of the week, and then I'm like,
You haven't started on it, have you?
well, I told them yesterday because I thought it was like Tuesday, and I was like, oh, it's already almost the end of the week. Whoopsies.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I guess we didn't come into the studio last week because it was break, so the building was closed.
Yep.
And then so the break just rolled into the week, and the week has not felt like a week at all. Like I've gone to work every day still, and it still hasn't felt like.
Yeah, I've done everything I need to do, but I'm just like, what?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still feel exhausted for the same as always.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
But pop culture news.
Yes.
Roundup.
Anything else in current events? What has been
Well,
going on
I mean,
recently?
There's so much
There's,
shit.
There's a lot going on.
I'm up to all but 2 episodes of Squid Game. I just have the last 2 episodes to go. Movies that came out that we've
Movies
seen.
that came out.
Venom,
that
Let There
we've
Be
seen.
Carnage came
Venom,
out.
Let There Be Cringe came out. That was a pretty interesting movie. I enjoyed it. It's a terrible movie, but I enjoyed it.
I think, did we talk about that in last time?
I felt like we've brought it up.
I think I think I brought it up last
Okay.
time. I did see The Last Duel. And it makes me very sad that movie is currently tanking at the box office with a less than $15 million debut when it was over $150 million to make. But I think, and I highly encourage you to go see it, because out of everything that came out this year, among all the schlock and the shit and the mud and the terrible stuff. Why am I looking over there? I should be looking in the camera.
Oh yeah, we.
Anyways,
yeah.
yeah.
I was
I'm like
off with
looking
you.
over
I don't
there,
know
and I'm
where
like,
we were
what?
looking.
But anyways,
We're watching the levels on for our
it's a
microphones.
very important and very poignant and very timely film, and it was executed very well, and I really enjoyed it. I went into it with the lowest expectations because the trailers are garbage, hot garbage, but yeah, it was very well done, and I highly encourage you to go see it. I don't know if it'll still be out by the time this episode comes out. I didn't get to see Halloween Kills. Probably won't be seeing it unless I get a Peacock trial. I've been hearing the more I hear about it, the less I want to see it.
Really?
But by the time this episode comes out, I will have seen Dune, and I'm very intrigued.
Interesting.
Going down to Vegas tomorrow, which at this point will have been Friday, October 22nd, to go see Dune in IMAX in Vegas, and I'm very excited. I think it's going to be, I don't know, I hope it lives up to the hype.
That's the movie
I
with Willy
do
Wonka
too.
in it, right?
What?
Yeah, that's the movie with Willy Wonka in it.
Who's Willy Wonka?
Timothy Chalamet is playing Willy Wonka.
Oh my god, that dude's playing. That's kind of creepy. No, it's not. No.
Creepy.
That kid's in everything, dude. I'm telling you.
I want to punch that kid in his face.
Okay,
What
there's
that kid do to
nothing
you?
wrong with him.
Nothing.
He's
He just looks.
They did it with Tom Holland before, but the difference is I liked Tom
Just
Holland.
that
I
he
liked when they
looks
did it
kind of
with him.
scummy, bro.
Oh, speaking of, on the way here, we watched the
Uncharted trailer, which does not look like Uncharted, but it looks like Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg dicking around in the jungle.
From what I heard while I was driving, it sounds good to me. I'm excited. I like seeing Tom Holland do anything. So
I'm excited for Mark Wahlberg. I'm excited for that.
I'm
bastard.
excited for Mark Wahlberg to recreate what happened in his head, what he thought would happen in that first-class cabin, when he said there would have been a lot of blood in that first-class cabin, and it would have gone down like that. I hope they recreate that.
Oh, it's not gonna go good for him.
Nope.
So Funny confession, I never played the Uncharted games.
Huh?
I'm a victim of having not played most of the important series. Like, I was going over it for all the different things that I plan on streaming in the future because I just found out God of War is coming to PC, and I've never played that.
Wait, like the God, like the 2018 God of War?
2018. It's coming to PC on my birthday,
Ooh.
January 14th.
That's so far. Fuck.
So it comes to PC then. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a birthday stream where I play the game.
Dude, I'm going to play the shit out of that game.
But
oh wait, I can't even.
Last of Us. I've never played Last of Us.
That one's a good game. Mechanics in that one.
And then there's other critically acclaimed games I've never played through story wise.
Y'all play Dead by Daylight?
Listen, I'm not a fan of Dead by Daylight. My brother loves it, and him and his buddies are really good at it.
It's an esport, and I don't know why it is.
Apparently there's a lot of a lot of strategy to it, but I don't like the game. It doesn't appeal.
The killers
to me.
feel pretty good to play. Like I would say like my couple times like playing it like Michael Myers definitely plays like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is there's certain builds that you can have with Michael Myers that are fucking OP.
Mm-hmm.
You are unstoppable.
And all you're doing is fucking staring at motherfuckers. Like it's like imagine if like Echo just built her ult charge just by looking at you.
Well, yeah, because the longer you stare at them, the more their like fear builds up, and the easier it is to track them down or some shit.
Oh. So you guys are fans of the game?
I don't know. I just watched the Michael Myers video because I was like, Michael Myers.
Yeah, when the trailer came out for Michael Myers, dude, I was like kind of geeking out.
Kids these days. When I was young, Michael Myers was a Call of Duty game mode.
Oh my god, that was incredible, bro. I missed
Michael Myers
that.
Was an amazing Call of Duty mini.
I didn't like it that he had an axe though. Not gonna lie.
Oh, was it an actual game sanctioned one?
Yeah.
I was just so used to playing
Call
the
of
game,
Duty,
custom games. Like,
It was Call of Duty Ghost. It was a DLC expansion pack, and it was in the game like you hold a briefcase, and whoever gets like a certain amount of kills gets to be Michael Myers.
Huh. I did not know that.
He has increased speed, increased resistance to bullets.
See, I was just
used
to hopping into custom games with friends where it's like, everybody's got a knife and one guy's the.
Oh yeah, but
you're
back
right.
in
that
Black
used to be
Ops 2.
so much fun.
Yep.
The Michael Myers kill streak, and
there
he has an axe.
And like, what's like, if when you got the kill, like his music would just be playing.
Dude,
his music.
Call of Duty will never be the same, man. It's a real shame. They had their peak. They had their golden age. It's over. They completed the zombie storyline. Like everything they've needed to do has been done, and now it's time to like.
I don't
be
know
the
why
old
Vanguard
man.
needs to happen. I don't know why.
Well, they have to keep making a game every year, but they're not. I doubt they'll ever be what they used to be. What they once were.
Like,
Halo did the smart thing by making their multiplayer free.
Yes, that's
so
incredible.
That's keeping them relevant. I don't know if that's going to put them at the top spot.
I hope so.
I need to also buy. I'm thinking about buying a bunch of games this weekend.
Yeah, which ones?
Attack on Titan, both 1 and 2. I'm buying the bundle.
There's games for that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But like, what's it like? You get like the way they use the 3D maneuver gear. It looks really cool and looks like it works.
I always take anime games with a grain of salt. You always have to worry. The only ones that are done well most of the time are Dragon Ball games because they've been doing it for so fucking long. It's not even that I'm a Dragon Ball fan. It's that they just Bandai knows how much money they make. I'm playing through Kakarot right now.
That game didn't even happen. I honestly, there's not many Dragon Ball games that
great mechanic. We know the story. If all the Dragon Ball game fans have played Dragon Ball games before,
if you're gonna make
and they've watched the show, getting through that first like chunk before you get like Super Saiyan is such a slug.
Although I will say Dragon Ball Z Fighters, great esport by the way.
Fighters is a great game.
Yeah,
it's just I'm not a fighting game fan. Xenoverse, when the third game comes out, I will be very happy to play that.
I like the competitive scene for that one though too. It seems like most
it's techie. It looks fun to watch. It's very visually appealing as well.
Yeah. Speaking of techie based fighting games, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Dude,
All-Star Brawl.
All-Star Brawl.
Whack.
It looks terrible.
It looks terrible, but it looks like it plays very smoothly.
it looks awful.
Hey, I'm just saying it doesn't have yin yang yo in it. I don't want to
It's
play it.
wild
Bro.
to me how they're
I don't wanna
trying
play
to
it.
make it like
You don't
they're
got
trying to
Master
push it.
Yo.
Like I think the issue is right. It's because it's not that Nickelodeon's game looks bad. It's that Smash Ultimate is so polished looking, and the animations are so
Yeah.
fluid and connect with each other so well, which is something that this game lacks.
What
All the
engine is,
animations just
like-
look like they're being done individually with no influence on one another.
Yeah, like there's not actually like a hitbox or anything
Like,
like that.
Breadman's shield and shit looks awful when you just spam
Why
it.
is there a Breadman? Where is Breadman from?
I think he's
SpongeBob?
from not SpongeBob. He's from his own show. In
I don't remember
Nickelodeon-
that
in
show.
Nickelodeon's, copper age, as they were struggling to find shows when they were doing Breadwinners and shit like that. I doubt he's from Breadwinners.
Where's Ren?
but
What's called? I want to know when Ren and Stimpy is coming out as DLC, and they're just doing nasty.
I think
stuff.
they will be. I genuinely think they will put them in. Nickelodeon loves Ren and Stimpy for some reason, and I wasn't a fan.
And what's called like they had some shit in that show.
They did.
Mhm.
They very
Did they
much
heck
did, but
of
we're
a-
not on the Saturday morning cartoons episode anymore. Christmas from November 1st, I am wearing a Santa hat from then on, right? I don't have one this year. I need to buy one. But from November 1st, I would wear a Santa hat onward,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
If Halloween didn't exist, right, I would wear the Santa hat starting like August 1st.
What? Why are
Weird.
people
Because
like
it
getting
is
ready
the
so-
best time of, like, it truly is the most
It is-
wonderful time of
I
the year.
agree with you. I was just talking to someone about this yesterday. How when it comes to like Christmas and stuff like that, Halloween, I love Halloween. It's fun, but Halloween is a passing thing. It comes, I spend about half a month getting ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once October 31st is done, I am done with it. I'm not the type of person that hangs on to Halloween because I know there's a lot of big Halloween fans out there that are like buying their shit all year long and they keep decorations up all year long. I'm like, no. Once November 1st hits, now we start switching modes because November, it's not Thanksgiving for me.
Mm-mm. Thanksgiving's a shit
It is
holiday.
retail season for me.
It's holiday time.
It's holiday
It's
time,
Halloween.
and that's
It's,
what I
Chri-
fucking love. When
Christmas
it's crisp outside, when you can see your breath in the air, and you're coming out of Target with a brand new fucking
See,
piece of tech.
I think
That's
the
what I love
biggest
about the holiday
issue,
season.
I think the biggest issue with that though is where I am currently, where we are in this town, sucks for the Christmas season. There's no big mall to go to and walk around and check
True.
out all the deals and stuff and window shop. There's
But it
just
is still pretty nice around Christmas time around here. I do like it here.
yeah, because
vibe is
all
pretty
the
good.
old people are indoors, but like
Well,
there's
yeah, but
like back at listen, Vegas where that is all that was the thing. Go to the mall.
yeah.
The mall was always it was my favorite thing to do. You'd go, there's always listen, I just maybe I just love window shopping, but just going to the mall and checking out all the deals and the Christmas sales and everything just feels better there. All the food's prepared better at the food court for some reason because everybody's getting their bonuses.
See, I can't window shop. I can't window shop.
Really, you can't just walk around and like, oh, that
It's
looks
like
cool.
it's like, oh yeah, that looks cool. Like, let me just like hope and dream right in front of the store and shit for everyone to see. And just walk away with nothing. Like, wow, and then just like walk away with nothing. I can't do that.
It's not like you don't window shop in Neiman Marcus. It's not like you're looking for stuff you can't afford. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's like looking at it like, wow, that would be really cool to spend money on, and then like
no, you don't like walk like grabbing a drink and like, okay, so this is what they're selling now. This is what the style. I guess maybe what I used to do is I used to go and I'd be like, all right, so this is what's looking good right now. This is what's being sold in stores. Like I had a loop I'd do in my mall. I'd go to GameStop, look at the games. Then I would hit like Guess clothing and I'd be like, all right, so this is all the stuff they have. I'll take a look. This looks nice, maybe there's something here. Then I'd leave, and then I'd go check out, it was the food court immediately after that, get some pretzels. Pretzels and cheese.
Pretzels.
It's like
Pretzels.
those pretzels and cheese, like Auntie Annie's and all
Yeah.
that. That's like a ritual for me.
See, I don't have a mall back home, but so in downtown.
No malls where you?
Well, I mean there is, but it's like outdoor malls and outlet malls.
Outlets.
And I don't have a problem. I'm not like, I mean, if I want to go to a mall, just go down south to LA and go to the mall there. That's pretty cool. But the one thing that I like is that my area is very like homey. So in regards to like the Christmas season where everything's decorated, you walk around downtown San Luis and they're playing the music. They have street vendors. We have a local Christmas market. So going home is really nice because you get a really full Christmas vibe. But I wish I had more of that kind of like window shopping experience. Because I know I know that would be something that, like, if I grew up with that would be a staple. But at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, it's whatever.
See, so people would hate going places with me. Like, shit, we go to New York, we go to Japan, dude. All I'm going to be doing is going to the stores. Like, look at this shit.
I feel like their window shopping experience is vastly different from ours.
Their window
probably
shopping. They've
exactly.
got people in windows there.
Oh,
Like,
no.
You walk around, it's like,
Oh, it's that part of Japan that we're going to?
I don't know. Oh,
Whoops.
I don't know. Well, knowing us, we'll accidentally end up. I don't know.
I can see us accidentally like ending up there genuinely like, oh shit.
Just
didn't mean
wake
to
up.
come here.
We're in Japan, guys. How did this happen? Whoops.
So I was.
My
looking-
bank
dude, I
account
was
is
looking at
negative
it.
$900.
Flights are still super cheap. For some places, not Japan though. Japan's always $1,000.
Japan's just on lockdown.
I do have a plan to go on a trip around Christmas time. That I don't want to say too much about. But hopefully that's what I'm going to be up to. So I think that'll be great. Because I found out how
He's
cheap
going to
flights
the
other
Virgin
parts of the States
Islands.
are.
Go ahead.
What is
Take a
there? What is
boat.
there to do with the U.S. Virgin Islands? Like, what
Be a virgin. I
I
don't know.
know. But like, is it a tourist destination at all?
No, it's like,
That's where all the
in
league
Dark
players
Souls.
go.
In Dark Souls when you sit at the fire to rekindle and to restore kind of that's what the Virgin Island is for Americans. You go to restore your virginity.
So
It's a reset button.
interesting thing about that. The U.S. Virgin Islands, so there's an international plan that all countries like have to like with the U.S. Virgin Islands. They send all of their League of Legends players to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I fully believed you too.
No, I love
And then they let them stay there for the rest of their days. You know what happens? They get really, really good at League of Legends.
I'll never forget when I was on the way back from Zion and we ran into this little like mock ghost town and you like go and
What's
like,
a mock ghost town?
it's like a tourist destination where they put up like a saloon and all this stuff.
The
It's
point
like
is nobody lives there.
You take pictures and there's like a petting zoo. It's kind of weird.
What the fuck?
Kind of cool. But anyways,
You walk in, it's an empty town, and the sign says like, oh, Carlos's women, and then it says population 0. And
yeah. But then on the fucking fake hotel they put up, they called it Hotel Virgin. So I took a picture of it and I
God,
was
yeah.
like, "Go ahead, book a room." It's get it? It's funny, right? It's a
You guys can tell it's been a slow news week here.
It's been a slow week.
No, pop culture news. The new Batman trailer.
Oh yeah, the DC fandom happened between episodes.
Nothing matters except for
Yeah.
Batman.
Honestly, that would do 4 whole hours. Okay, I am very glad I didn't stream the DC fandom like I did last year, because 4 hours of that shit and only maybe 20 minutes of it was shit I cared about.
Yep.
I cared about the Black Adam teaser. I cared about
That one was actually pretty cool.
No, we were
game
you
trailers
all know what
and
we
the
were
Batman
excited
trailer.
for. The DC League of Super Pets.
Oh my
Who the
God.
fuck asked for that shit?
They wanted dog costumes for Halloween.
And why is The Rock in it?
Is he
Not
in it?
as Black Adam.
What was he? Then who is he then?
I think he's playing Crypto.
That's one big ass sounding dog.
It's like Superman dog.
Gotta be, the only
Well, I know
dog
it's-
The Rock can play is Clifford.
But it's The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Clifford.
course.
Oh,
Of course
speaking of Clifford,
How
the
did the
Clifford movie
listen? How did The
coming
Rock
out.
and Kevin Hart swing that? They're like, no, trust us. You want us in charge of this DC superhero pet show for children.
Clifford, the big red blood.
Clifford.
Clifford.
No, Clifford.
Clifford has an identity crisis.
Clifford has a new movie coming out,
He does,
and
he
the trailer
looks
for
awful.
it still looks like a Viagra commercial. You know,
Ask your
this
doctor
commercial?
when
Yeah.
they have the CGI heart
your
for the heart
doctor.
medication.
If there are any side effects, including seeing a big fucking dog. But anyway,
Side Everyone's
may
just
include
taking,
headaches,
like-
nausea, like significant rectal damage.
See, if I was directing that movie, I would like
And
have like
death.
one
It's always
passing,
death.
like one passing thing throughout like the whole entire movie to make it suggest that like every character that's seeing Clifford just fucking tripping out.
the what's it called? Like the behind the scenes pictures for that movie are fucking whack because they're just walking around with this big giant blue dog head or like a foam looking head, and they're just like moving it around.
No,
and
don't they have like a dude like on his like floors and shit, like crawling
the
around?
dog's
No,
way
that's
too
old
big
school.
for that.
Where,
That's
like-
Planet of the Apes
And Twilight.
and Twilight. Wait, if there's a humanoid size animal or something,
Imagine that being your job and shit. Like
then
you
get paid.
paid.
I would
Okay.
love
All right,
that.
controversial question for about Halloween. I know I keep trying to pull it back to the damn
No, you're
topic,
good.
but
Clifford is a horror movie.
that CGI is pretty bad. Like it is
That
pretty
new Scream
horrific.
movie?
Oh yeah, new Scream movie trailer. It's looking like a sequel to the whole series entirely.
It's
right?
5. It's Scream
Looking
5.
like it's finishing, wrapping things
Yes.
up.
I sure do love my Scream quintology. Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, and Scream.
They did the Halloween thing, and I'm
Yeah.
so tired of the reboots.
See, they're just gonna ignore
I'm tired
that.
of reboots. I want new stuff.
I
Give
love
me
my
new
Halloween
stuff.
series.
It's hard
Halloween.
to do it without like
Halloween.
Sidney Prescott though. I mean, I think
Who?
what?
Her,
Oh,
the woman.
gotcha.
Yeah. But then again, I don't ever see that girl in any other movie
No,
besides
because she didn't
Scream.
do anything else. That's the thing.
This is just a cash grab for her.
That's
a
one.
Mick cash grab.
That's what I'm worried about. It's like Wes Craven. Like he isn't here, and his name
May
is
rest in peace.
his name is nowhere on this product that Paramount is just shilling out for the masses. They don't care about the movie. They just want your money because they're like, we have the 2 actors back.
3.
At least, or whatever, I don't care. But the thing is, like, at least Scream 4 was Wes Craven coming back to the franchise and saying, okay, this is my reinvention and spin on it. And it has my blessing. They don't have his blessing for Scream 5. That's what scares me. Exactly. And it should just be left alone. We don't need another Scream movie. Where's the next great horror idea that's going to come out and be the next Scream?
And you know what? I think our Wes Craven of this generation is probably like Jordan Peele.
No. Here's the thing.
It's not James Wan anymore. Not after Malignant.
Not after Malignant. No, fuck that. But
Malignant.
Sam Raimi.
thank you. I feel like Jordan Peele, Get Out. I really enjoyed Get Out. I think that's a really good horror movie. One I would definitely watch
Have either of you
again.
guys watched The Twilight Zone at all? I know
I
he hosts
started
that.
it. It was all right.
I haven't started. Is it good?
Pretty all right. He's a good host. But Us was terrible. Us has no redeeming qualities.
It's an art movie, Carlos.
It-
you don't
no,
understand.
it's not even
Them joining
close.
hands and wrapping around the world represents the subjugation of our people, Carlos.
You know what? You know what? No.
Because only when we come together can we stop the oppression of everyone living above us, Carlos.
No, I feel like Us was just a waste of time, and I was so excited for it. Like the trailers made it look really good, and I was like, this could be cool. This could be Jordan Peele like going for a straight horror movie, and the first half of it is pretty good. And I thought Lupita was really good in it because she played 2 characters, and then she played that copycat version like she was really scary. But other than that, it was like weak sauce. It felt like he was grasping for straws for a message.
I can see that. Oh,
Christmas has its movies, but the thing is, Christmas movies are unwatchable any other time of the year besides Christmas time.
all right.
Horror movies, however, can stand the test of time and can be watched any time of the year. So,
He
Die
makes it-
Hard.
Die Hard.
Die
yes.
Hard's a Christmas movie. I'll find
You know, Die Hard is a movie that just happens to take place at Christmas that I enjoy watching around Christmas. This does not make it a Christmas movie.
I don't know.
Die Hard
I think
2
one of the-
is a Christmas movie.
Is it really?
It is.
Is that with a vengeance?
No. Die Hard 2 is
That's the one I
incredible.
remember. 'Cause
Die
Sam
Hard 2
Jackson's
is
in
one
it.
of the greatest action sequels of all time.
Have you never seen The Raid 2?
I actually haven't.
Or
Anyways,
the acclaimed Too Fast, Too Furious?
I have seen that.
You've probably seen it many
It's about
times.
drive. It's about power.
You know what?
We
though?
are hungry.
That makes sense for that movie franchise. But no,
Me explaining the Fast and Furious franchise.
from start
It's
to
about drive. It's about power.
it's in a PowerPoint. Just
We
send it up.
hungry.
I'm actually hungry. Okay, so let's talk about horror movies. Carlos brought up a
Let's
good point.
do it.
But now, like, what is our favorites though that we would recommend to people? Like, what did you guys? Sorry for Victory. What is like your favorite horror movie of all time?
The Thing from Another World, or just The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah,
Practical effects are really good.
the ending. What do you guys think?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I would love for them to have elaborated, but then we won't. Ever
I don't
get the
know. I
chance
think-
because the sequel sucked dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Among Us really brought the thing into the light, which is that's actually like not really a joke, because when the game came out, people were like, "Wait a minute, it's just The Thing, but as a game," and I was like, "Well, fuck you for that comparison," but also yes, you're right.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the menu music for Among Us rips most of the bass and like undertones of the score for The Thing
Yeah.
directly.
Good old
Because I watched The Thing last year and I was like, this sounds like Among Us.
Well, okay, never mind. I was gonna go off at
Us.
Among Goose. What's it called? The Thing? Genuinely good movie. I say people need to watch that one. Although I can see why people don't watch the remake.
Remake is garbage.
Sucks.
Garbage.
Well, I do like those horror movies that and the endings, they let it play with your imagination and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that people actually genuinely and I especially love the people who genuinely go out of their way to make up these theories, but actually put time and effort into why it works, and then tweeting it out to these people who are in the movies. They're like, that's a possibility.
Yeah. No, I
By
think
being really ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
That word. Anemone.
I should also bring up the Cloverfield series.
the original Cloverfield is pretty good.
yeah.
The sequel's coming out. A direct sequel to that.
To that, really?
Yeah, to that one.
See, I hope there's in that one. There's at least a scene
It's
where they're
going to cover more of the monster.
they're gonna let's get King Kong on that bitch.
You know what's funny? 10 Cloverfield Lane is genuinely one of the best movies of the last decade if you cut out the ending.
Yes.
Because 10 Cloverfield Lane should not be a Cloverfield movie. It has no business and no
Well,
right.
that's the thing. None of the Cloverfield movies were Cloverfield movies after the first one. They were just bought by the Cloverfield
Think
company.
about,
Yeah, exactly.
and
It was
slap the
J.J.
name on
Abrams.
it.
He was like, "Hey, money."
Hey, but to be fair, though, I really like it because of that, though. I like that it's a really good movie, and then they go, at the end, by the way, this is in the Cloverfield universe.
Let's
It just fleshes it out a little more.
think about how important the
ruined it
first
for
one
me.
was.
Which part of the ending do you not like?
I didn't like how she, she escapes, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, big monster. I'm like,
Okay, once she gets out, and then the aliens attack her, and she's just like, oh shit, the guy wasn't lying. That part I like. It's once she starts driving, and then the giant spaceship shows up.
And she's like, it's
That's
not
a bit
over
much.
yet. That's a bit much.
And then she
But I
drives
feel
back
like-
to town.
I just feel like in
That's a dumb
general,
decision.
you can tell it was never meant to be. Watching the first part of that movie, the first 2/3, you can tell it was never meant to be a Cloverfield movie. And that's what's sad, is that you can tell they just took someone's movie and were like, we're just going to slap this shit at the end of it to add it to our extended universe. That's never going to happen. But, good luck.
Cloverfield Paradox, you see where about
That
halfway
one-
through production, that one got the Cloverfield name slapped on it.
That one was weird. Indeed.
I liked it too. I just like Cloverfield. I think that's what it is. I like the concept of just taking a bunch of different random bits and putting them together. Like this next
It's more
one,
like a Black Mirror. That has more like a Black Mirror
it does
effect
feel
at
like
that
Black
point,
Mirror.
though,
Yes.
too. Although the first one, the first Cloverfield movie, think about how important that movie was.
Yeah.
In terms of found footage or the
Well, you have to remember,
footage
a lot
with
of the
the
hype
lens.
came from the ARG surrounding it, and that's probably another reason why it's such a big thing to me. Is if you ever watch Inside a Mind on YouTube or anybody else who
I haven't seen that one.
who else he's a really good channel that covers this kind of shit. But the ARGs that go around stuff like Cloverfield. Cloverfield's had a big game surrounding it for a while now, and I think it's still going.
A game?
Like an alternate reality game in ARG,
Oh.
which back when Cloverfield was pitched, was first to release in theaters. It was released as a trailer before Transformers, the Michael Bay one, either the first or the second one. I think it was the first one. And it was just the date, and you type the date into the search bar on Google, and it'd take you straight to a website that was it was like just details about like the Facebook group of all the people who were going to attend that party in the movie. And it was like it went through all, like they were all getting ready to prepare the like the guy announced he got the job, and then they do, oh, we're gonna plan the going away party, and it's like all this stuff, and then it's like, oh, hey, here's a little file, you click this, it takes you to this other website that shows like this company's doing shady shit, and it's like, oh, hey, look, there's a report here that says they're drilling for oil, but there's no oil here. What the fuck are they looking for? And then it's like you know, so like you pair that with the movie, and it fleshes it out more.
Yeah,
and that's what really. Like that's the big part that's been really nice.
That's what they did
it.
for Blair Witch too. They did a lot of online marketing and promotion. That was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, Blair Witch is another good example of really good marketing for a movie because
That's the only way that movie made money.
They wiped the actors off the face of the earth for like the time period before the movie came out
to make it look like it was an actual found footage movie. Like honestly, that while I don't really like the movie because it didn't really age that well. It's just kind of, and it's not that scary, but like you can tell why it scared audiences when it came out because there was all this hype around it and all this like, is this real? Like that was a legitimate question for people who watched it. It wasn't like watching a movie now and it's like based on a true story, like you know the Conjuring stuff, and it's like, ooh, that's based on a true story because we all know it. It's like no, people are like, holy shit. Speaking of film footage. If you haven't seen Creep yet, please give it a watch.
Creep.
Oh yeah.
Creep is really good.
Yeah.
Actually, written and directed by someone who's mainly done comedy before, but he did a really good.
It's really funny how like some of these horror directors or like these really good like horror like creators and stuff are like all comedians in some way, shape, or form.
Well, aren't comedians
because
the most
horror
messed up in the head sometimes?
Yeah, horror can be born out of comedy and vice versa.
But it's interesting how like these people who like you know write like Jordan Peele, for example. This guy wrote sketch comedy for like years and years and years. Never once teased about you know having any interest in horror, and then he makes something like Get Out.
And Get Out is actually just a Key and Peele skit. When you think about it, the way it's structured, it literally follows the same structure as a Key and Peele skit. It just happens to be more serious. Yeah. And it happens to be a horror movie. And it's really interesting because it has a lot going for it that you can tell that him and Keegan would do in their skits in regards to how the characters develop. I mean, Key and Peele, these are 5-minute sketches that are basically an entire movie. Like, you follow them over a journey, which is really interesting. And so you can tell where Jordan Peele really got, you know, where he comes from. But as far as favorite horror movie goes, it's hard to say for me because I like a lot. I mean,
there's lots of subgenres of.
I could go paranormal. I could go slasher. I could go gore.
Okay, then we'll still keep yours in if you want to change it. Now, like, what's the best subgenre like
thrillers?
Definitely thrillers. Yeah, I think thrillers that
psychological
thrillers or thrillers that have to do with real world terrors, as in like stalkers or like the one I talked to you about, the Hush and When a Stranger Calls. Those scare the shit out of me because they are
When a Stranger
legitimate.
What's it called? When a Stranger Calls is interesting because that's actually based off of a real criminal case though too. But here's the thing, it never got solved. Yeah. The original case that inspired When a Stranger Calls, the case has been a cold case for like years.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a different movie.
It's just
One Missed Call. That was a movie that.
One Missed Call. That
movie traumatized me as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That one was weird. If you miss a call for someone, you die. It was just a phone by some angry boomer. They're like, answer your phone.
That and Lovely Bones traumatized me as a kid.
Lovely Bones, really? I heard a lot of people, like my sisters, like they will not ever, like if I bring that movie up, they will not want to. Like,
yeah, that was Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's fucking terrifying when you think about it. From
another non-horror movie that scares the shit out of me is Prisoners. That's another one.
Really?
I don't know if you've ever seen that. God, that movie rocks me to my core.
There is the first Jimmy Neutron movie. Pretty scary.
Yeah, that was pretty scary too.
The Yokians, pretty scary.
Wallace and Gromit scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Chicken Run.
Chicken Run, yeah.
Chicken. Okay, yeah.
All the Aardman movies are just terrifying.
Why are they so aggressive with their eyes and shit? Like,
I don't know.
Claymation,
They're
man,
they're like so lovable, but at the same time
there's,
they
like-
can go so terrifying.
Yeah, like there's so
Fraggle
intense,
Rock the
bro.
movie, also
Oh.
pretty scary.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elmo and Grouchland.
That shit's fucked, dude.
That's
He's
just
got a whole
Elmo.
little land down there. Dude, there's a whole race of people living in that trash can somewhere.
I'm just reading too much into that movie now. You guys
Yeah,
say like
favorite-
thrillers, but like
Yeah.
I say a good old like a good slasher and like a really good paranormal.
I dislike
really-
paranormal films.
I really like slasher movies too.
Done right. And we've
Sherlock
seen-
Gnomes is pretty scary.
Oh my God.
If you watch it as a horror movie.
It's just in black and white. And
Like if you watch it as a Sherlock Gnomes, the Romeo and Juliet
yeah,
sequel.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Just watch it in black
if you
and
watch
white,
it
it's
as a
a
horror
horror.
movie, it's pretty scary. I won't lie.
Yeah.
We watched it after watching A Quiet Place, and I think it's pretty terrifying.
Dude, I remember being like in a quiet place in theaters, seeing it in theaters, and I was like, "Damn, whoever's eating their fucking popcorn is really fucking loud." It was me. And I was like,
Dude.
my whole line of like my friends were just all looking at me like, "Really, motherfucker?" Like,
Mhm.
I would feel so bad.
See, I think I missed out on the experience for that. I didn't see that one in the theater.
I didn't either.
And I'm bummed because when I watched it at home, it was kind of on like a shitty camera, and I was like, this movie's okay.
I can tell you right now, someone could move their sneaker or fucking fart, and you'd eat like the whole entire place with.
That was a movie that I was really sad got snubbed for sound design at the Oscars, because it was like the one thing I got from that movie was like I can tell this was impressive in sound design. Like they really went ham on that and just honed in on the more terrifying
See,
elements of trying to be quiet.
If there was one thing I
I
would
still ate more popcorn for that movie than I did for the original Suicide Squad.
I do, yeah.
I don't even remember my experience for the
Dude,
Suicide
I
Squad.
never
had
saw
a
it.
full bucket of popcorn at the end of that movie.
Wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd be like preoccupied eating the popcorn to distract you from the movie.
No, whole bucket of popcorn. Whole bucket. I felt so bad. I spent like $30 at the end on a whole bucket of popcorn.
Can't do that.
Fucking biggest movie theater disappointment of my
Man,
life.
I got a free thing of popcorn when I saw
It was
No
a
Time to
great
Die.
time. Don't get me wrong. It's just the popcorn.
Yeah.
Shit's so expensive.
Well, I had like I've accumulated over like 180,000 megaplex points, and so like
of course.
I get
Yeah, right.
I get a free thing of popcorn, a free bucket of popcorn. I'm excited. We're seeing No Time to Die, and the guy's like, "Do you want butter on that?" And I'm like, "No, thank you." And he's like, "No butter, coming right up." Fills the popcorn, butter, and I'm like,
Well,
my
they-
show's already starting, so I'm not gonna be like, can you get me another one without butter? I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stomach it.
Well,
Because the
you-
butter just
you-
doesn't.
Oh no.
you can't eat butter.
Well, no, it
There's
doesn't
soy
agree.
in the butter?
It doesn't agree with me.
Uh,
So I'm
Same
just
here.
like, it's too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of
Especially-
movie theater butter. But anyways, I'm like, I'll just stomach it. It didn't cover the entire bucket, so I'm just gonna eat around
well,
it.
you know.
No,
The
I was
Rock
wrong.
Stays hungry and devours that popcorn, even if there's butter on it. So, I would stay.
Anyways, I was very upset because I had 3/4 of a bucket of popcorn after that movie, but at least I didn't pay for it. But anyways, yes, I do like a good slasher movie.
Has there been one? No.
Yeah, Friday the 13th Part 3.
In recent years, I meant.
Oh.
Like when it comes to like
Final
paranormal,
Destination are pretty good.
I don't like the Final Destination movies. There's something about
They get too
watching.
goofy.
I hate gore. Yeah, after a while they get shitty, but like the first few are all right.
Different, like the thing about like movies that like, as much as I can get why people like Saw and like the villain Jigsaw, there's something about like
The
seeing
Saw
people.
movies.
If there's something seeing. There's
You
something
can-
about seeing people like being tortured that it doesn't.
Yeah.
I
sound
hate-
right
yeah,
with
I
me.
torture-
Torture
like
porn is something that I can't get behind.
No.
The first Saw is different, and while I haven't seen it in its entirety, from what I have seen, is I know it's more based on it's more focused on character, and it's more focused on
Yeah.
these two guys who are stuck in this situation they have to get out, and it focuses on who Jigsaw is. The other ones are just an excuse to go to the extremities and lengths of gore and torture.
Yeah, like
I just really admire the craftsmanship on like the traps and stuff.
Yes,
you
Yeah,
can,
and the
I can-
practical effects.
You can really
Yeah.
tell that the crew put in the work, put in the hours.
Yeah.
You know.
It is
And-
that's the fun part to watch, to see that they
And I can
legitimately were able to
appreciate
pull
that,
all
but
of
I
that
do
off.
not like genuinely watching it and like seeing it being executed. I can appreciate for like the sophistication, like the meaning behind all of these traps and stuff like that, and it's awesome. Yeah. I'll tell you that. But like watching it, no. Final Destination 2, like you're right, it gets goofy. But the one I can't watch is Final Destination 5. Yeah, I can't.
Did you see that?
Something just flew past the window, like.
But it looked like a light.
Yeah,
it looked like a speck of light.
There's a fucking fairy caught in that. I was about to say the living room.
But yeah, Final Destination, like it gets to the point when you're watching it and the gore is just too like CGI and fake that I'm just like, this is.
Or
stupid.
the one I can't do is like the I one. I can't do that one. It's it's too much for me. And like people are like, oh, I love those movies. I'm like, you're kind of fucking sick.
After seeing that, would you get LASIK?
No. And I think that's the reason why I don't want to go get LASIK.
I love the tanning bed one in 3.
That scared me as a kid because I just turned on the channel on the TV and that was the shit I saw and I'm like, I'm never getting in one of those.
The setup is the best thing because he literally put the guy, like, it's so extreme how it happens, right? Because she, like, I don't even remember the turn of events, but all I know is that the guy who runs the salon is on the phone and he tries to prevent the door from locking by putting a thing of toothpaste under it. He puts a thing of toothpaste under the door, and you see it just like starts closing. The toothpaste starts coming out, and it's like, who put toothpaste under the door to keep it from shutting? Like, hold it with your foot.
Also, how heavy is that door? Like, goddamn.
Yeah, why is that door so fucking thick?
I don't
and shit?
know, dude. Like, it's just so funny to me.
Even fucking thinking about that scene, I can't do it, bro. It's like, yeah.
And the roller coaster one gets me too. That's fun, but it's fun. That 3 was actually fun to watch because you can tell that's when it started going like completely downhill, and they started giving up story wise, and they're like, let's just do the same thing over and over again.
Let's just kill people in like the most sadistic and most common ways that people can just make them fearful for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that was rough.
But no, I feel like if you're gonna do something like that, do it like the first Saw, where there's legitimately a point to it.
Is it Final Destination 4 that starts with the NASCAR? Is that that one sucked? I hate it. That is
that's
when
the first one.
That's the first.
No, the first one's the plane. The first one is just like
the plane. Sorry.
Okay.
Which, by the way, this is not.
And then doesn't the last one end at the start of the first one?
Was that after 9/11 and shit like
Final
that?
Destination 1?
Yeah.
Or that came out before 9/11.
I think it was before.
And the reason why I bring that up is because I know that within Power Rangers like Time Force and shit, that like Final Destination and Time Force came out around the same time. They had to edit like scenes of like the Q-Rex like wrecking down like buildings and shit because of like what the the implications and shit like that of like
that is there's a lot of weird stuff around the time 9/11 came out. A lot of weird like theories with movies like what there was like
Lost Galaxy had to be censored though too because of the terrorist bombing in Iraq during like the 90s and stuff like that.
There are just a couple of 90s, movies that are like where they're like, oh, there's a theory about this movie. It's like predicted 9/11 because the Twin Towers aren't in this movie. It's like this is for the CGI budget for this game couldn't afford to put the Twin Towers in. So it's like Muppets Christmas or Muppets Take New York. Yeah. Where it's like it's implied that if Kermit the Frog did in his lifetime influenced 9/11.
Oh my god!
Yeah, here's another exclusive clip alongside all the other shitty ones we've put up already.
Jesus.
I believe it's implied that in Muppets Take New York, it's like a Wonderful Life thing, right? Where he does like he wishes he was never born type shit.
I'm just gonna look up Kermit 9/11.
So yeah.
But no, favorite horror movie for me, slasher wise, first Halloween movie.
I'm going to have to cut around this, TJ. Hold on. What'd you say? First Halloween?
The first Halloween, John Carpenter's first Halloween.
No, 100%.
Although, it was weird, though, too, because within that time period, it was back when Hollywood was trying to tell everyone, like, about, like, the dangers of premarital sex and shit. Because every teenager who was, like, every teenager in every movie that was trying to have sex just got murked.
Yeah. Friday the 13th, part 1, that's the entire plot in that movie.
Because Friday the 13th used to be, like, a day of coitus. Like
day of coitus?
Spiritually, yeah, it was like a hooking up day.
Really? Mm-hmm. I never thought.
And that's why they made that to change the to change the day's theme.
So they wanted teenagers. Hollywood is weird just in general.
And it's funny to me how Friday the 13th, the first one, isn't even about like Jason. Like
nope.
It's about the mom. But anyways,
yeah. So it's just some weird like conspiracy. Oh, here we go. We gotta pull it up.
Kermit did 9/11 refers to a fan theory that the existence of Kermit the Frog led to the fall of the Twin Towers and the events of 9/11. It is based on a scene in the 2002 film A Merry Muppet Christmas Movie in which an angel shows Kermit the Frog what the world would be like if he had never been born. And coincidentally, the Twin Towers appear during that sequence. After the tidbit of film trivia was pointed out in 2015, the theory circulated online in memes and fan posts. Kermit is seen in front of the Twin Towers, which otherwise do not appear in the film. So during the dream sequence, when it says, this is what the world would be like when you were never born, the Twin Towers are there. During the rest of the film, the Twin Towers are not there.
Kermit the Frog is solely responsible for something that caused 9/11.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest, y'all. We can live in a world without Kermit. We got Elmo.
I don't think Elmo exists without Kermit.
Jim Henson is in general doesn't exist. If Jim Henson, does that mean that if Jim Henson doesn't
He
exist,
was
he's
Kermit
still
the Frog.
Did Jim Henson do 9/11?
Jim Henson's career. If Jim Henson's career didn't blow up, something else would have blown up.
Oh my God!
It reminds me of that terrible tragedy.
All right, we're gonna run this gauntlet here. Let's do this.
My favorite horror movie, Texas Chainsaw, the original.
Really?
God, I can't. Yeah,
That's a
another
gore
one.
movie
That's
as well.
that's another one I can't
Not gore
watch.
movie. The first Texas Chainsaw is not a gore movie. There's actually only one instance of physical violence in that movie that is shown on camera, and it's only when he hits someone with a hammer.
Yeah.
The only time you see something is when he does put one of the girls on a meat hook, but you never see it. It's all done off camera, and that was the one thing that when they were making that movie, obviously there was a stigma against violence and gore in movies, because of censorship, and so they had to work around a lot. And so what they decided to focus on was more the psychological aspect of what was happening to this girl, because the whole thing is told from her perspective. And so it's more about like the wear and tear on her psyche that these literal family of cannibals is having on her. And so that's the more disturbing aspect of the movie. It's less about, it's this guy running around killing people with a chainsaw. In fact, I think he only kills one guy with a chainsaw in that movie. It's the guy in the wheelchair.
But it's funny how like Hollywood just ran with like that whole like.
They did, yeah.
You know.
And it's funny
How many
because
movies have spawned of that? Six
or so, and then they did a remake and then a prequel. And I think like
those all fell on their faces.
Leatherface in general isn't even a villain. Leatherface is a misunderstood character. I mean, he's an abused child. And that's the thing about that movie that's interesting is that they took that character and all those characters and they're like, we're gonna make Leatherface the next Norman Bates or the next Michael Myers, and it's like you can't do that. And that's why it bugs me that I see like Leatherface like in Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, you're taking this guy who's literally just an abused child and taking it out on his family, and you're turning him into like this playable character in a video game because you're making him a sadistic killer for no reason. Like, that's not the point of the movie. And I think if you delve deeper into that movie, there's more to it, and that's what makes it scary. That's what I like about it. And it's also in the National Museum of Art.
Is it?
Yeah.
As it should, honestly. I can see why.
It's the first. It's one of the first art horror films to be popular.
Genre jumping here. Horror games at all?
Ooh,
Are you guys fans of horror games?
Outlast, first one.
Outlast.
Until
Alien Isolation.
Dawn had a really.
Until Dawn was really good.
Has the most interesting storytelling.
The don't move mechanic is bullshit, and I hate that.
I think that, and you know what? I feel like the developers knew it was going to be bullshit, and like some of the events that are like triggered, you just can't get out of.
Well, you can. It's just you have to actively move your controller towards the center every time it starts to drift away, and that's so bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, and never forget Dead Space.
Oh,
they're making a remake. I'm so excited.
We have to like all like maybe for like one of your streams or for a video, we should all play it in the dark and like we're all just
I'd love to sit down and play.
It looks incredible. It looks amazing. Also, another one, Alien Extinction. I feel like we wouldn't be doing justice if you didn't mention
Alien Extinction
or Isolation. Isolation. My bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that one.
That one's free on Amazon Games right now.
Oh, another series I've never played, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 4 is coming out on the Oculus Quest
It is.
too.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be how I'm going to be experiencing it for the first time.
And you know what? I feel I feel so lucky, I feel so like envious that you get to experience your first time.
Dude, I'm telling you, buy a Quest 2. The 256 or the 126 gig one comes out for $199 real soon.
I already have the experience of playing the game though. I wish I could experience the game firsthand through that.
Oh, never forget though. Classic Silent Hill for the PS1.
Oh.
One of the scariest games of all time, and you want to know why? because the sound files were fucked up on the original game disc, and they just ran with it.
The corrupted sound sounded scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally. So you can put the disc in your computer and find all the sound files and everything. Oh my god, that thing is like unsettling. And it's and they took those sounds, and that's one thing. Even though the movie's dog shit, the original Silent Hill movie produced by Guillermo del Toro, really fascinating because it is one of the most accurate movies to source material ever made. Because they use all the original PS1 sounds in the movie. For their soundscape.
Awesome. See, one of my favorite things about those old like games with like the chiptune and like 8-bit, 16-bit audio is that most of those audios can be decompressed like when you put them in a computer and you can hear the original instrumental versions. There's a lot of them that are like that are just compressed down for the sake of the game system that turn 8-bit and sound all chiptune.
Cool.
Honorary mention PT though. Like
PT, one of the most. It's like a cult classic video game. It quite literally is a cult classic.
And here's the thing about like all these video games: you can watch any of these games, like their playthroughs, and they feel like horror movies.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't know, like nothing, but like nothing will ever get me than like that first Outlast movie.
The Five Nights at Freddy's series, critically acclaimed horror games. You can't argue it's probably
I can't argue that it's a horror game, but
ever.
like there's so much more better horror games.
And as soon as the movie that's been in development for 6 years comes out,
Slenderman.
No, we can all. It's like one of those things that you just gotta acknowledge that like it was put like
Slenderman was my introduction to horror, I believe, as a kid. Like,
I think it was Slenderman, and then it was Outlast.
That was the talk of the playground
because they came out like around the same time of each other, or at least both of their peaks and shit.
Both.
Well, that was YouTube Gaming's real
That's when like PewDiePie, Markiplier.
It was Friday Nights at Freddy's and Slenderman were like the popular or not streaming but like content games for horror.
Slender kicked off YouTube Gaming, and then Five Nights at Freddy's kicked off horror gaming like crazy.
Yep.
And then created a whole subgenre. That was when YouTube developed niches. I'm not a big fan of the fact that YouTube has sex and clicks now. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been that many good like. I'm trying to think of another
Medieval
horror.
for the PS2.
Medieval. Would you consider that a horror game?
I mean, you play as a skeleton. And it's like
and sad, spooky, scary.
Rattle them, boys.
Rattly bones. Yeah. I think worst horror movie of all time in your opinion.
Worst horror movie of all time. There's
a lot of bad ones.
Okay, so
Freddy versus Jason.
Understandable.
I'm gonna go with
because I feel like with horror movies, we can all like figure out like some way to like it, but then like there's just some that you can generally like. Yeah, I didn't like that.
I don't think I've ever watched a horror movie I dislike, but that's because I very, very heavily
Have you never seen Freddy versus Jason?
I haven't. I've never watched either of their movies, any of them.
It's kind of
none
weird.
of the Friday the 13th and none of the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Just watch Friday the 13th 1 through 3.
See, here's the thing. Even like watching, they don't stand the test of time anymore, and it's super hard to watch.
Number 2 does. Friday the 13th 2 does.
I will say, I forgot to bring this up for. What's you guys' favorite like paranormal a ghost or horror movie?
I mean, like besides The Conjuring.
You can just say
The Conjuring's the only ones that I actually enjoyed.
Or I can see what
Brightburn.
Dude,
Brightburn. Never saw that one.
It's dark.
I want to
dark
see
Superman.
it. Yeah,
it's not bad.
You know what? Like that felt like a DC like horror movie, and I actually enjoyed. Even though it's not, I enjoyed the.
Well,
shit
at the end,
out
it
of
was
that.
like teasing the fact that there were like a dark Batman, dark Wonder Woman, all that shit. It would have been so good to see.
But like, although I did like it because it's all the things that like I wish these superheroes would just like do and just get away with, because like that one scene with the diner lady and shit, homegirl had it coming. She was a bit, but no,
that was a really good movie. It was a really good take on a like.
But if there's one movie y'all need to see, it's an old movie, but I still think y'all should see it. It's called The Changeling.
Oh, I love The Changeling. One of my favorite movies of all time, dude.
Dude, what's it called? It's about it's like this one scene from this movie is great. It's just about this old guy living in this big old fucking house that he just fucking bought, and there's this red like fucking ball that just keeps like like bouncing around the house. He doesn't know So he doesn't know where the ball's coming from. So he grabs the ball one night and he takes it to the river and he throws it in the river. He comes back, but he hears kids laughing in his like second floor fucking house, and then the ball comes like dropping down, and then like children are laughing. It's so good and it's so great.
The Changeling. I'm actually very happy that you've seen that movie. That was a movie that redefined one of the like the supernatural genre.
That movie, like, what's it called?
Rosemary's Baby. That's another terrifying movie.
The only part I can't watch is that scene where
that scene.
Night of the Living Dead and all the zombie movies.
Oh.
We haven't even touched zombies.
Oh my god, zombies, bro.
Dawn of the Dead will forever be my
Dawn
favorite.
of the Dead, yeah. That's Dawn of the Dead is the best.
Tyrese Gibson just yelling at zombies.
No, not the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead.
Come on, bro.
That
Fuck
wasn't
that
the
movie,
reboot
bro.
of Dawn of the Dead.
So bad. Oh my god.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead's good.
That one, that's redefined, you know.
I love Shaun of the Dead. Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs is good. Zodiac.
Zodiac's considered a horror movie? Or like,
Well,
a thriller?
it's a thriller.
It's a good movie, though.
Overall.
It's got a star cast. It's like it's cheating almost.
Yeah.
But like none of those guys were like super big at that time. It was like it felt like there was like one or two people who were like
it feels
big
good
in
in
those roles.
hindsight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that one scene for me when he goes to the guy's house towards the end and he's just like, I make the posters myself. And you just have that moment when you're just like, oh, no, get out of there. Oh, that scene just bothers me.
Well, in
Seven's
the
good.
reports, they found out like they identified who the Zodiac killer was.
His name's Greg.
Gary Francis
Oh, Gary.
Post.
In the,
What's the
I think
difference?
you brought this up too. All these like serial killers, like these notorious serial
The
killers,
dude's
all got
named
like
after the snail from SpongeBob.
Or is the snail named
committed
after
murder
him?
because he was bullied for having a shit name.
God damn. No,
He literally looks like
All of
Gary
Squidward.
F. Post literally rated Zodiac on IMDb 1 star. He said, this shit sucks.
fucking hell.
I really like the idea of just him fucking rocking about, like watching a movie of him about him. Like, you know, how big of a flex if he took a picture outside the theater, like next to like the movie poster, like El Chapo outside the White House. Like,
Okay, that'd be kind of fucking gangster and shit. But no, like all these serial killers, they all have like regular fucking names: Ted, Jeffrey, Gary, John.
I think if we've learned anything, is just don't name your kid a stupid name, and then I think you'll be good.
Is that the reason why these white people are coming up with these fucking like regular or like?
Listen, there is. I have not met a murderer named Catherine. So
Is that or what's called? It's
with the like the Y ends at the end, like the
what's
fucking-
another like? What's some like absurd spellings of like some names I've heard? I'm trying
or
to
Heather with a W. I'll let you pick where the W goes.
I feel like that's what the doctors say and shit. They're like, "What do you want to name her? Ashley? All right. Select a random letter from the
Ashley
alphabet."
with an asterisk. What? Yeah, so like half of an asterisk for Ash and then Ley.
You know what bothers me? Denise, but with a C. It's like Denise. And I'm like, the fuck?
Nice.
Denise.
Spell Dienda. Oh.
Anyways, I think we've touched on a lot.
Yeah, we've touched on a lot and yet so little. This is it. Okay, if this episode does make it to air, thank you so much for sticking with us through this episode of the Morning Madness podcast. We promise it's just maybe it's just an off day today. To
I'm
be fair, I got
delirious
4
today,
hours
not
of
gonna
sleep,
lie.
Maybe that's about
Yeah,
it.
me too.
But we wanted to come in and do our civic duty, come in and entertain you on this beautiful morning. Thank you for waking up with us. Let's do our plugs and close it out. So, who wants to go first? TJ, do you want to plug first?
TJ.
That is your
Just good enough at DJ.
It's just spell out my name TEEJAY on Instagram. That's it.
Carlos?
Intentional lens flare on the Instagram. Becoming Rich is now on Vimeo on demand, finally, and you can rent and purchase for very cheap. Please do so. It is greatly appreciated.
Is there any specific website to find that on?
Just
at the Super Image
yeah,
website?
you can just go to superimage.ltd.com, or it's in the link in my Instagram bio.
Yep, it is also in the link. It is also in the description below this podcast episode. Both on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more audio formats, as well as in video format on YouTube at VictoryTGH on YouTube. You can also find me anywhere on social medias, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all VictoryTGH on all platforms. YouTube and Twitch specifically, where I deliver my own content, and that is it for the plugs. It looks like it has been a rough journey, but thank you for listening to the Morning Madness
Thank you very much for tuning in to the Morning Madness podcast, and we will see you all next time.
Peace.